Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and I am trying to read 20 of the best short stories written in the 20th century. These are all stories of my own choosing that I have read before, and I will provide a link in the description of this video on the stories that I will be reading and how I chose them. The story I read for this week was A Man Who Was Almost a Man by Richard Wright, originally published in 1940. I had a little bit of a difficulty acquiring a copy of this short story. There is a Kindle version available of this collection for $12.95, and I passed on that and got this from an interlibrary loan for free. Yay, libraries! This is the story of Dave. He is a young African American, about 17 years old. He is living out somewhere in rural Illinois, if I am not mistaken. And he wants something in life. What he wants is a gun, because a gun would make him feel like a man. And he knows where he can get a gun. There is a Sears and Roebuck catalog that advertises lots of guns. So there is a shop owner in the little village or town that he lives, and he wants to look at this catalog. And the owner's going, "Why do you want to look at that catalog, boy?" And they call him a boy a lot in this short story. He says, "I want to look at the guns. I want to get me a gun." And the shop owner goes, "Why do you want a gun?" He goes, "I just want one." And he's going to loan the catalog to the boy overnight so he can look at the guns when he gets home. And on the way out, he tells the boy, "You know, I got a gun I can sell you for $2. And the boy gets really, really excited as he's going home. But he gets home, he's still looking at the catalog. And his mama asks him, "Boy, what are you looking at?" He's going, "I'm looking at the guns, Mama. I want to get me a gun when I save myself up enough money." And she's going, "You fool, boy. What do you want a gun for?" He goes, "I just want one." And they get to discussing. And the mama is against the boy getting the gun, but he convinces her. He tells her about the shop owner who's going to sell him a gun for only $2. He says, "I won't keep it. I'll give it to Papa." And the mother relents, and she gives him the $2. Well, the Dave goes out, and he buys his gun. And he's supposed to give it to his mama, to give it to his papa. But he says, "Mama, I hid the gun in the back so no one can take it from us." And she sort of thinks, "All right, well, you give the gun to your papa in the morning." Of course, that gun is with him, because he loves that gun already. The first moment he made the following morning was to reach under his pillow for the gun. In the gray light of dawn, he held it loosely, feeling a sense of power. Could kill a man with a gun like this. Kill anybody, black or white. And if he were holding his gun in his hand, nobody could run him over. They would have to respect him. It was a big gun with a long barrel and a heavy handle. He raised and lowered it in his hand, marveling at its weight. So what he does is he sticks this gun in the pocket of his overalls, because he has to go out and work in the fields for the owner of the farm. And he has to plow a field with a mule. And so he goes out with the mule, goes out to the field, and it's relatively secluded. And he said, "No one's around to hear me. I can fire my gun." He has never fired a gun before in his life. He has only seen them in Sears and Roebuck catalogs. So he holds the revolver in both hands, closes his eyes, pulls the trigger. It's a huge boom, a powerful kickback, and the pistol or revolver drops from his hands. And he goes, "Man, that was strong." And he goes to pick up the gun, and he turns around, and there's the mule, Sally, with a hole in her side. Somehow or another, he's managed to shoot the mule, and the mule does die from the bullet wound. And he tries to cover it up, but it comes out that he bought a gun and he shot the mule. And the owner of the mule on the farm is sort of laughing. He says, "Boy, you bought yourself a dead mule, and I'm charging you $50. This boy does not have $50 to pay for that dead mule." And he said he threw the pistol away in a river because he was so frightened of what he had done. But he had not thrown the pistol away. Of course, he would not throw the pistol away. So he gets up the next day. He goes to where he hid the pistol, and he says, "I got to leave town." So he goes to the railroad tracks, and there is a train heading up north, presumably to Chicago, maybe somewhere else, I don't know. But he gets on that train thinking, now I'm a man because I got a gun. And that's the end of the story. The reader does not know what happens, but the reader does know what happens. You know, something really bad is going to happen to Dave because he has that gun in his pocket. And that's the end of, that's the story. And I have to think of myself, or think of what Richard Wright was thinking. Does a gun make a boy into a man? Obviously, Dave thought so. Richard Wright, probably not. Richard Wright was probably more nuanced. And he's saying the gun ownership does not make him a man, but there's this huge desire in Dave that Dave believes that this gun will turn a boy into a man. And while this story was written or published in 1940, I think there is a lot of that feeling in the population of the United States right now. The United States does love its guns. And there's a lot of men out there who feel that owning a gun makes them a man. Because when you own a gun, as Dave says, people have to respect you. They can't run you over because you got a gun to protect yourself. Is that true? I don't think Richard Wright in his story is saying that's going to be true. I do have to assume that Dave is going to get in trouble with the gun because he leaves it open for the reader to interpret. And I go back again about how many men in the United States feel that this gun ownership gives them the right to respect. They feel that they are men because they carry a gun. I don't think that is true. I think it could be manly to decide not to carry a gun. In September of 2021, I was looking at the political situation in the United States, where I live, and I decided that things could go south depending on the elections. So I enrolled in a pistol training course. This was run by the NRA. It's about $100. You attend a class. The class is one day. You have about 6 hours of instruction. This is all verbal. This is sort of hands-on with unloaded weapons. And then you take a written test. Any fool who has ever read a book and can understand a book can pass this test. After you pass the test, you go to a shooting range, and the instructor helps you with a loaded weapon, and you shoot at a target at 10 yards. You need to get a certain score to pass. I hit 9 out of 10 on my target, so I passed. And what does that mean? That means that the certificate for this class that I completed, I can take down to the courthouse, and I can fill out an application. I can pay about $75, and I would eventually get a concealed carry permit. so I can stick a pistol in my pants and no one would know. Would I feel safer running around with a concealed pistol in my pants or a concealed revolver? I don't think so, because I don't think that owning a gun and carrying a gun is going to make me a manly man. Other people will disagree. And this is what makes this story really sort of powerful, because it talks about this desire in Dave to be a man and what he thinks will make him into a man. And what he thinks will make him to a man, I don't think does. I think it makes him a bit foolish. But that is my interpretation of the story. And how do I rank this? I'm going to rank this around number 5, number 8, so in between The Hunger Artist and The Rocking Horse Winner. It is still a good short story. I think more people should be reading this short story and considering, does a gun make a boy into a man? Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.